In this video, we will be providing the third update on the Diani Beach, Kenya Sandsaver installation on the eastern coast of Africa, on the Indian Ocean. Let's do a brief summary of what happened in parts 1 and 2 of the first videos. In part 1, beach erosion has plagued the Swahili Beach Resort for years. In the first video, we see the Sandsaver beach erosion modules being installed and lined up into position on the Indian Ocean at the opulent 5-star resort as a beach erosion solution. Prior to installing Sandsaver, several other beach renourishment methods were attempted with no success of rebuilding or protecting the resort's award-winning beach. On January 12, 2020, the Sandsaver modules were lined up and strategically placed into position, with the larger opening of the modules facing the Indian Ocean, while the tapered smaller holes face the beach side of the installation, where the sand will settle on the beach side of the Sandsaver modules as the tide retreats back into the ocean, eventually completely covering the modules in sand, while accreting sand both in front of and behind the modules, creating a nice, gentle, sloping beach. Once the modules have been lined up into position, they were strapped together and then filled with sand. Typically, the units would have been filled with a yard of concrete. However, due to the lack of available equipment and limited beach access, the decision was made to fill the units with sand. Once the units are in position, strapped together and completely filled with sand, it becomes a functioning equation of time, wave energy, and sand as the tide comes into the beach and retreats back out to the ocean, depositing sand on the beach side of the Sandsaver modules. Within the first 12 hours of being installed, the Sandsaver modules were showing positive results of sand accretion and beach erosion protection, as the modules were already exhibiting evidence of sand accretion on both sides of the modules after just a couple of tide changes. Two weeks update. 2 weeks after the Sandsavers were installed, we were provided an update as sand noticeably continued to accrete on both sides of the modules, up and down the length of the system. Given the time of the year, the winds are still currently coming from the north, which is why the system is covered by more sand on the north end of the system. In the first 2 weeks since the installation, it is estimated that the Sandsaver system has accreted approximately 3,500 cubic yards of sand behind the modules, while increasing the width profile of the beach up to 75 feet already in some areas of the beach. In 2 short weeks, it has been extremely impressive to see the current results of sand accumulation on both sides of the modules and the increase of beach width at the installation location so far. 6 weeks update. Approximately 6 weeks since the date of the install, the video updates show that the Sandsaver modules are continuing to protect the beachfront property at the 5-star Swahili Beach Resort in Kenya. The Sandsaver modules have added generous amounts of sand to both the ocean side and the beach side of the modules. Most all of the units at this point are now about 60% covered on both sides, creating a nice, gentle slope on the beach. At this point in time, it is estimated that approximately 20,000 cubic yards of sand has been accumulated in the 6 weeks since the Sandsavers were installed. At this point, the system has increased the width profile of the beach by adding more than 100 feet of sand since the Sandsaver installation of January of this year. After 6 weeks, we've realized an accumulation of over 20,000 cubic yards of sand behind the Sandsaver system and more than 100 feet of increased width profile since the January installation date. In a perfect world, we would have preferred to have had additional updates at approximately 10 or 12 weeks since the system was installed. However, it has been a little over 3 months since the last update, with this being the first update since the global COVID-19 pandemic that has plagued the globe, while shuttering economies and businesses all over the world due to the virus. As the virus spread, governments all over the world enacted lockdowns and quarantines, some even currently continuing, going into their 5th month. Fortunately, Kenya lifted the lockdown on their country and allowed some businesses to begin reopening. Six-month update. Since the mid-January installation of Sandsavers at the opulent Swahili Beach Resort, there has been a tremendous amount of sand accretion at the location. By means of the updated photos and videos of the location, current extremely conservative estimates are that over 30,000 cubic yards of sand has been accreted by the Sandsaver modules, and over 150 feet of width profile has been added to the beach since the Sandsaver installation in January of this year. However, the National Environment Management Authority of Kenya is so impressed that they are performing environmental impact studies to support the decision to recommend that Sandsaver is the only beach erosion solution for the continent of Africa. Let's look at the overhead shot from the day after installation. Let's see the 6-month video update from overhead. Let's see the two videos side by side from above. Notice that the increasing width profile of the beach that has added over 150 feet of width profile since the Sandsaver installation in January of this year. Due to the results that are currently being experienced at the Swahili Beach Resort, the ownership of the resort decided to modify the south end of the installation in effort to provide an upcoming resort feature for resort guests. Because of Diani Beach's location in the Earth's equatorial region, between 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south latitudes, the trade winds greatly affect the tides. It will continue to be exciting to witness the continued accretion of sand in the coming weeks and months as the Sandsaver system continues to accumulate sand and bury the beach erosion modules in an efficient manner. For more information, please visit sandsaver.com and grangerplastics.com for more information and details.